That's Nick.
And that's Joseph, and today we're here to talk about The Trip to Greece, the latest film directed by Michael Winterbottom, which will be available on digital on demand May 22nd, 2020, courtesy of IFC Films.
What do I know Winterbottom from?
Well, we reviewed Greed.
Oh, Greed, yes.
Yes, but Mr. Winterbottom is one of the premier contemporary British auteurs. He's consistently had a film, if not two films, every year since the mid-90s.
Oh, that's right. I recall you saying that.
A variety of topics. He likes Thomas Hardy adaptations, various visceral thrillers, science fiction, melodramas. He's done it all. What is this film called again? So it's The Trip to Greece. So
Trip to Greece. Okay.
So this is the fourth and what we're told is the final film of the Trip series, which began in 2010, which was Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon, who are basically playing versions of themselves that go on various... they're basically doing... they're food critics doing a piece for The Observer, and they're both do very similar things and kind of needle one another lovingly. The first one was in 2010, and it was released in the UK as a television series that was edited together into a film for release in the US. And then there was The Trip to Italy in 2014, The Trip to Spain in 2017, and now The Trip to Greece, which I believe Winterbottom filmed at the same time as Greed, which the majority of which is set in Greece.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So Joseph had not seen any of the other Trip movies and only made it, 20 minutes into this?
I started this film and couldn't get through it.
So yeah,
not because it's terrible, it was just very dry. And I felt like I was missing something, like there's some backstory that I needed. I just didn't connect, so I stopped. I
don't know that you need to see the previous three films to appreciate this, or even really be familiar with Coogan or Brydon, but it certainly does help. It's something that I think does feel like an acquired taste. I was trying to describe it to you as something like the white British version of Sibling Rivalry with Bob
the drag queen and Monét.
Yeah, which again is...
They are much more fun,
right,
and lively.
But again posits two people that do the same thing and are kind of trying to one-up each other.
So why don't you explain the story quickly?
Quickly, this time they are on assignment to Greece and they're retracing the steps of Odysseus from Troy to Ithaca, so they start out in Turkey. And strangely, this is a weird one to begin on, not only because it's the last one, but because there's hardly any food sequences, which was a staple, obviously, of the other three. And the other staple is that they they're always constantly trying to one-up each other, doing impressions of various, usually British, celebrities of note. Here we get Dustin Hoffman, Sean Connery, Olivier, I forget who else, which is obviously they both do a meme. Michael Caine, as in past films, which if you're familiar with all those things, it seems funny, but it really is just a travelogue of two droll men talking to one another. I think Rob Brydon seems very sweet, and Steve Coogan seems to be kind of he's a son of himself, playing kind of a viper. He's obviously the more internationally renowned, which is also played up because he keeps talking about all the BAFTAs he's won. They're also, are playing with whatever's going on currently in their careers as well. So yeah, that's basically it, except where this is trying to have some subtext about Odysseus, and the film is a Trojan horse, if you will, because it doesn't end as you'd expect. Coogan's dad dies and the trip is cut short, and that's it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't have anything else to say.
Oh, the soundtrack is something else. Well, you didn't make it through it, but I'm like, oh, this is Philip Glass, but obviously recycled Philip Glass. And I associated the pieces. There's a lot of Michael Nyman in the score, so there's a very dramatic, dark, foreboding element to the film, which is cued to us by the soundtrack. But I associated with the Glass pieces with The Hours, one of my favorite films, Stephen Daldry, where Nicole Kidman plays Virginia Woolf. But yeah, it's from Glass's opera Satyagraha. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But it's a very, very distinct piece of music, which I really like, and I think was cueing me in ways, trying to make me feel things that really aren't there. Again, it's a film, if you enjoy These Men, you'll probably, and the other films, you'll enjoy this, but overall, it's, kind of a letdown to the quartet.
What would you give it?
I'd still give it 3 out of 5 stars. It's entertaining, but it's definitely something you have to be in the mood for.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.